Hey, and welcome to the Phoenix Within Stories from the Fire. I appreciate you coming back and visiting with me today. And sure you guys noticed something new. I'm so excited. New year, new mic. So you guys can hear me a little bit better. Today, I want to talk to you about something that has been kind of, I guess, dear to me the last couple weeks. You know, the holidays tend to be very hard on a lot of us. They tend to bring out anxiety and depression. And especially for those of us in the chronic illness community, they tend to hit us a little harder because we tend to be a little sequestered and away from the hustle and bustle of the world. And we don't get out as much as everybody else. We don't get to participate in a lot of the more fun things. We get the feeling that we let ourselves down, we let the world down, but we still try to stay positive, and that becomes a very exhausting thing to do. So that's what I want to touch on today. That's where the title of today's podcast came from, when staying positive becomes exhausting. And so that's what I want to talk about a little bit today. You know, there is a kind of exhaustion that comes from staying positive all the time and putting that happy mask on and pretending that we're okay all the time, that just drains us, that absolutely just gets us to a point where, although it looks like we are a positive person most of the time and we're smiling and we're happy and things are okay, on the inside we're not. And at night when we go to bed and we think to ourselves, man, you know, life is just heavy and it's not the way we think it would look like at this point in our lives, and it's not the way we wanted things to be. I'm tired. I'm really, really just bone tired, just from trying to pretend things are all right. That's where that exhaustion sets in. And that's what I wanted to really dive into. It's that pressure to stay hopeful all the time and feeling like being negative is just not allowed, that being thankful all the time and having gratitude to just be on this earth is just like another responsibility. And that's a hard thing to do, you know? It's hard to sit in that spot, whether you're in the chronic illness community or not. You know, sometimes just living as a human being, even if you have a great big caring loving family and a great job and, excuse me, you know, even if your life seems like it's perfect, sometimes life can just get to you and you don't want to pretend that you feel okay, and you don't want to be grateful for the things that you have. So to sit there and think that you have to put on this mask all the time, you really don't. And man, this is where I want to be real with you guys all the time, where I want you guys to really think and understand that you don't have to always sit there and pretend to the world that it's okay, that you're not okay, you know, that you have to put on this mask, that you have to face the world and think, make everybody else think that, you know, oh, I'm good, I'm fine. Women, us as women, we tend to do that a lot. We tend to put it out there to the world that, oh, we're so thankful for everything. We're so grateful that we've got, you know, we got this, you know, we're tough, we're fighters, we can do it. Men, especially, you know, my son is like that. He tends to be very tough, to put this face of armor out there, that no matter what this world throws at him, that he's got it, that he can handle it. And I know for sure that that's not the case because I live with him. I see it. His father, my late husband, he always put on this armor of, he had it. He had the bills, he had the house, he had the 14-hour a day job, 6 or 7 days a week. You know, he had his mother breathing down his neck all the time, the kids screaming, you know, us fighting about whatever it was, you know, the lack of friends, the lack of social time, you know, and we had a pretty good life. We lived in a decent house. We had money most of the time. You know, we had food in the house. We had nice cars. But man, is it exhausting at the end of the day to sit there from pretending all day long that it's okay all the time, you know? And from my personal life, especially now with all of the chronic illnesses stacking up and me having to live with my son, no car, no way to get around. I'm back in a city that I have previously lived in. I have no friends here to speak of. I don't go out. I don't spend time with people. I spend 97% of my time at home. I have one really amazing friend that you guys will meet eventually. I want to have her as a guest here on the show because she's also a member of the chronic illness community. I want to to show you her perspective on things. She lives across the country in Arizona. I see her twice a year, but we do video calls all the time, which is great. But there's nothing like spending time in person with the people that you love the most. I don't talk with my father very often, which hurts. I have a younger brother that we sort of have a relationship, but we don't really ever talk. I have an older brother that we don't ever talk. Sitting in the thick of things when you don't have a community, you don't have support, you can only sit in your own head. I know there are people out there like me that are in the same situation where you are just sitting in the moment and you try to find things to busy yourself. You try to sit and smile through that fatigue. You try to minimize your pain to keep everybody else happy. You have so much guilt when you have a hard day because you don't want anybody to feel sorry for you. Staying positive takes so much energy sometimes. It can feel like you have a whole other job when you don't even have a job sometimes. You know, having hope or light in your life shouldn't feel like something that you have to earn. It shouldn't feel like something that you have to buy or something that is a thing that isn't what it should be, something that is truly something that you have naturally given to you, something that's a birthright. Hope is something that we all should have freely. Rest is something that we should have without calling it a failure, without having guilt, without saying that, I'm not allowed to be quiet. I'm not allowed to be. I did a post the other day, right before New Year's, that said, I wanted to remind people that it is okay to just be, to just exist. And that's kind of a message that I want to incorporate into today, because some days just being neutral is enough. Some days just being yourself is enough. Whether that's on a good day, a bad day, or somewhere in between, being yourself is just enough. I want you to know that if staying positive feels exhausting right now, I hear you. And I want you to know that that's okay. If you're exhausted from putting on that mask, put the mask down. You don't have to put it on. Be your raw, true, authentic self. Put the mask down and just be yourself. You don't have to put on that mask for anybody. You don't have to pretend for anybody. It's okay to rest. It's okay to just be there in the moment. You don't have to pretend for anybody. I know sometimes it feels like you do, but you don't. Something I prepared here, and I'm going to read it off because I'm sure as you guys are starting to realize that, with my early onset dementia, I do have to take some notes, and I apologize that I don't constantly look at the screen. But I wrote here, you do not owe the world optimism. You're allowed to rest in honesty and let hope return when it's ready. And I want you to let that sink in, because it's so true. And it's something that I have to remind myself all the time. And I have several tattoos, and, you guys can't see them. I mean, I've got, like one over here, and I've got a huge phoenix on my arm, which is the cover of my book right there. And I'm getting another one on my inside of my arm. And it's okay if you don't believe in tattoos. That's fine. Everyone has their own beliefs. But I need reminders to myself. Like I said, I've been battling a little bit of depression lately. And let's be real. Creators, podcasters, YouTubers, we all have battles. And that's part of the reason I created this podcast, is to show you that there are real people out here having real battles. And I want you to know that you can connect with someone like me that understands the battles that you're going through. And I am going to be putting a tattoo on my forearm that says "Don't quit." And that envelops a lot of things for me that I'm not going to get into, but I'm not going down a dark rabbit hole or anything. But mainly it's reminding me that even on my worst days, when I feel tired and I feel overwhelmed and I don't want to get up and do my podcast for this. I don't want to do my podcast with my best friend. I don't want to make social media content. I don't want to get up and take a shower, or I don't want to get up and go for a walk, or I don't want to get up and clean the house, or whatever it might be. I don't need to quit. I need to get up and do those things because it keeps me going, because the longer I keep going, the more I put off the effects of the dementia, the more I put off the effects of the arthritis, the effects of my epilepsy, the effects of all of the arthritis and all the bad things that are going on with my body, and the longer that I might live. So, what I want to leave you with today is that, to reframe the whole thing, if you're tired of staying positive, it's okay. Take the mask off, put it down. Just be you, just be yourself, just be authentic. Don't worry about what everybody else says or thinks or does. That's their opinion. Let them have it. There's a lot of, if you haven't heard of Mel Robbins and the let them theory, she has some very short videos out there that I recommend you Google and listen to what she has to say. She's done a lot of interviews about it, that she has some short snippets that are very easily digestible. But the basis of it is let them think what they're going to think. But the other half of it is let them do what they're going to do. And then let me be responsible for me. So let them think what they're going to think, and then let me do what I'm going to do. So put your mask down and rest, relax. Don't worry about everybody else, and let yourself heal. Rest your wings. Thank you for joining me today, and I love you all. And I will see you next time on The Phoenix Within, Stories from the Fire. I love you all. Have a wonderful, blessed day.